If you liked the video, feel free to subscribe. It would really help the channel, and we have battle reports, boarding actions, and list videos every week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. The balance update is out. It's out a day earlier than I thought, so that's why this video is a bit later than I want it to be. I was kind of prepping videos for tomorrow, getting things ready, but it's out now, so let's talk about it. This video is going over the points changes in the October 2024 balance update. I will include the winners and the losers for the Adeptus Custodes. I will also go through some of the changes that I've noticed so far that are going to help the Custodes. Finally, how I think the balance update will change the Custodes for this season. The good news is we have a few points buffs and not any nerfs. So there's not a lot of good units that have been buffs, but it's better than a whole bunch of nerfs. So Trajan Valoris, he's went down 10 points to be 140 points. The Virtus Praetors, for 2 of them are down to 140 points, down 10 points, and for 3 is now 210, so that is down 15 points as well for 3. Then our 3 Contemptor Dreadnoughts, the Galatus, the Aculus, and the Contemptor, have all gone down by 10 points. Let's go over these points changes and discuss how it's changed or affected any of these units. For Trajan Valoris, even with this 10 points drop, I still feel Trajan is still a bit overcosted for what he does. He does not reduce the cost of stratagems or really help the unit he's attached to unless you're playing against an opponent who reduces the hit roll or ballistic and weapon skill. It's pretty rare though. I know Death Guard can do it in a few other armies, but it's not something really that you're kind of building your list for. He does not have fight first with his moment shackle or ignore modifiers anymore. He has one phase of 12 attacks or a 2-up invulnerable. Melee damage is not something we lack. Bringing Trajan as a beat stick seems a bit too much for 140 points. Plus, he is only AP2 with his weapon, so if someone uses Armed Content, he'll be lucky to kill a Deathwing Knight or 2. Next is our Virtus Praetors, and like Trajan, a 10-point drop is just not enough. You get that 15-point drop if you take 3 bikes, but still that is not enough. 2 jet bikes for 140 points is still too close for 3 Venatari for 165 points, and we will find that 25 points for that much better unit in the Venatari. I mentioned in my wish list video that these needed to be 60 points a model, and with that max squad of 6 dropped down to 55 points a model, at 70 points these are still too expensive. I will do a deep dive on these Virtus Praetors later on during our Custober month. Then our Dreadnoughts, the Venerable Contemptor Dreadnought. I recently did a deep dive on all 4 Adeptus Custodes Dreadnoughts. This Dreadnought suffers from several key things. The movement of 6 is awful, since they have to move around terrain and not through it. Just makes it so slow moving around the board. The ranged weapons are not that good, the multi-melta being the most dangerous, but it's only 1 multi-melta. A 5-up invulnerable is not near the survivability of a 4-up invulnerable. It's obvious, but still, the 4-up invulnerable is just so much better than the 5. But the biggest thing I feel will keep this thing overcosted is the comeback to life tax. From the Undying Ancient ability, going from 170 points to 160 will not help this Dreadnought that much. The Aculus Contemptor Dreadnought, this Dreadnought went from 165 to 155 points. It suffers from a lot of the same things as the Venerable Contemptor does. The Aculus does have a different ability, doing mortal wounds in engagement range. With a much better melee threat to vehicles, the movement of 6 will still hold back the Aculus, but at 155 points, it's getting more usable. And then finally, the Galatus Dreadnought. The Galatus going from 175 to 165 is a good start. I like to see them be a few points cheaper though. This Dreadnought does have a 4-up invulnerable save with that Galatus shield ability for -1 to the wound roll in melee combat. I like the melee profile paired with that Galatus shield ability to make a decent elite infantry hunter. Once again, movement of 6 is the killer. There is a few other rules changes that do make a difference for the Custodes. The Telemon Heavy Dreadnought did receive an update. If we equip 2 of the Fist, we can now get 2 extra attacks in melee, bringing the total up to 7. It's not a lot, but it sure is better than having the 0 attacks and just 1 extra Plasma Talon. I'll take that. Arcane Genetic Alchemy now works on Doom Bolt or any other start of the phase Mortal Wound abilities. We can now use this once Mortal Wounds have been allocated. And it's now confirmed if we're standing behind some ruins, but we have one of our long spears sticking out and the spear tip is in the ruin, anything that sticks past your base now, if it's sticking in some ruins, it will not make you visible. It's better for those big models like Angron and Shalaxi that you'll have your wings hanging out of your arms, touching into a little bit of ruins would make you visible. Now if you have your spear or some wings hanging over a little bit of terrain base or something like that, it doesn't make you now visible to everything. And the secret missions have been nerfed, so you can no longer score the primary mission victory points in round 5. I didn't use them a lot, but I have had some big turn 5 swings because of these for my opponent. Now let's go over 3 winners and 3 losers for the Custodes from this balance update. For winners, first one, it is 2 in this one, the Aculus and the Adeptus Dreadnought. Even though it was a small drop, it might help make a Dreadnought list a bit more viable. Maybe. The Telemon Heavy Dreadnought, already used as a tough model to have on the board in some lists. Now it gets those 2 extra attacks if we have the 2 fist weapons equipped, which is an upgrade. 7 attacks and shield hosts with all the melee buffs should make the Telemon a more spicy choice. And then finally we have the Blade Champions and Wardens combo. No points drop for this unit combo, but also no increases for this unit either, which is a win in my eyes. I had mentioned these could be brought up by a few points, but only if we had some good points drops to a lot of our units that needed them. That did not happen. We only got a few 10 points drops, but these did not get a nerf, and that's a bonus. So that is a win. I'll take that. And for our losers, we have the Venerable Contemptor Dreadnought. The 10-point drop is not enough. I want to try to make a Dreadnought focused list just for some fun. I probably won't be putting a lot of these in lists. It just does not do anything well. Second, my boy Trajan Valoris. The same as the Venerable Dreadnought. 10 points is not enough of a drop to make Trajan that much more usable than he is now. He can be used in Orc Champions and some other lists, of course. I just feel other characters bring more to a list though. Finally, our Virtus Praetors, a running theme here. The points drops were not really enough to make these units shine. 140 for 2 or 210 for 3 is still too close for that 165 points for 3 Venatari, or even more if you want to take 3 bikes. You can be able to take Venatari and some sisters instead of those bikes. Now for some final thoughts. Even though we did not receive any meaningful drops to our units, we also did not see anything go up in points, which is a win in itself. Our allied units have taken a little bit of a hit. The Subductor Squad went up 15 points from 85 to 100. I still like that unit, although it's getting a little expensive. You can now take 2 Witchseeker units for that same price, but I still like the utility it brings. Canis Rex went up to 450 points, so he went up by 15 points. He's still usable, but if you have access to those Caladius Grav tanks, they're probably better. The Dreadnoughts might be a bit more usable, but they need an upgrade to their movement. The Telemon guns could use a bit more AP as well. The extra attacks with the second fist is better than it was before, since it did nothing but give a second plasma projector, which was nothing because that was just a fist ranged weapon. A lot of the top performing armies were brought down. Custodes may not have got much better, but the armies that were beating us regularly are now weaker. We may even win a few more tournaments now. I want to make a Dreadnought heavy list over the next little while, just to try some different units and loadouts. No, it will not be topping the meta, but it will be something new for us to try if we can figure out how to make them work as they are now. So we'll probably work on that over the next few weeks. I'll throw some lists up, I'll throw a battle report or 2, just to make these Dreadnoughts work. The movement of 6 is really going to be hard to work around though. And if you enjoyed the video or any other content on the channel, feel free to subscribe. As I always say, thanks for watching, thanks for stopping by.